Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, sometimes your boy, Charlotte Carolina. We back with more fires. God damn. Okay, first we had what was it on the bridge yesterday? We had a fire on the bridge yesterday. You're supposed to write that down. It's hard to find good help these days. It was a bridge yesterday on fire. Scroll through the notes and see if we can find the bridge. We wrote notes about what bridge that was. But it'll be back in
But
the
Vallejo.
oh yeah, Vallejo E40's place. What up?
I 80.
Tell them when to get out.
I 80 bridge fire.
Okay, now we got another fire called the Getty Fire. That's at the Center Museum, and they have a million-gallon tank of water and one of them smoke machines to move the smoke machines. We got 330,000 homes evacuated. And there's a fire in Mountain Gate, and it's 60,000 acres, and we also got a Kincaid fire still running, and the Getty fire is off the 405. Is that off the Slauson where you cut your Slauson off? You know, y'all know about that. Cut your Slauson off. Hey, shout out to Marathon still on Slauson over the neighborhood Nip. Crip. All right, we got 500 firefighters out there doing their thing. Nigga, this is crazy. We got 12 fires. 12 comes in 3. This is some crazy number shit, y'all. So we're gonna get into fire officials. We're gonna start off with the fire officials talking about the Kincaid fire, and then we're gonna move into a live aerial view of the Getty fire, and then we're gonna get more into the Getty fire. And I'm gonna try to get my Halloween video out today because we got one more day to go. All right, so let's go.
Morning that we had issued yesterday, so that officially started at 8 o'clock this morning. That runs through 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. We are starting to see the northeast winds pick up right now along the eastern flank of the fire up near Mount St. Helena. We're starting to get reports of 30 and 40 mile an hour winds up there. So even though the winds are not down at the lower elevations, the forecast is on track. What that means is a challenging afternoon and evening of strong, dry, offshore winds that will impact the fire area. So we're in this critical, really 24-hour window. We're hopeful that the winds will ease off after midnight tonight. But tomorrow, the humidities remain incredibly dry for the region on the order of 5 to 15%. The good news is after we get through this wind event, things do look favorable for the next 5 to 7 days, but we'll get into a more tranquil weather pattern. No rain in the forecast, but also no more offshore wind events. Thank you.
Speaking next about fire behavior is our Plant Section Chief, Adam Mitchell. Good morning. In addition to the weather issues that we're seeing, we also need to remember that we're at the time of year where we haven't seen any moisture in our fuel beds for an extended period of time. The fuels are critically dry. They are receptive to new fire as well as fire spread. So as we see the challenges with the weather, we have influences of heavy fire spread issues being at a rate of erratic and dangerous. And so we need to make sure that we're aware of any new starts or any fire behavior that we see out there today from this fire is going to be dangerous and erratic. Finally, with the winds that we're going to see, we have the trees and the things that are going to be stressed from fire being in them are going to be weakened, and they are available to be broken off in the high winds that could impact routes of travel or any areas where firefighters are working. Thank you.
I want real nigga statements.
Speaking next will be Sonoma County Sheriff.
Nigga, it's burning. Let's run.
Good morning.
How you doing?
We have some good news for you overnight from the Sheriff's Office evacuation perspective. It was a quiet night as far as activity. We had no arrests to report, no major incidents to report. Our deputies and our law enforcement partners are out in the field. They're patrolling heavily. They are contacting people to check on them, make sure that they are in areas appropriately. We really need to say thank you to our law enforcement partners. We have over 140 different law enforcement agencies here on mutual aid. We have patrol cars. You'll see patrol cars in our area from all over the northern part of California.
and particularly the National Guard is here. They've been working with us to set up traffic control checkpoints, so you can see National Guard folks along with peace officers at checkpoints. They're doing an amazing job of protecting neighborhoods, keeping people out, and we will continue to be vigilant for people who are entering evacuation zones against orders, and we will continue to be very vigilant for people who are engaged in looting, and we will not tolerate that. Today's going to be a conscious day with the winds. We've been getting a lot of questions about repopulation, how people can get back to their homes. There's a lot of anxiety and anxiousness there. We are going to work with CAL FIRE and look at these weather forecasts and these fire forecasts. Today's probably not going to be a good day to talk about repopulation as far as good news. We're going to have to kind of wait and see how the winds behave, how the fire behaves, before we can talk about repopulation. So although many people are anxious to get back, today is probably going to be a day that will cause consideration of repopulation. Please continue to follow us on Nixle and other social media platforms. Please monitor KSRO Radio and KZST. Those are two local radio stations who are providing up-to-the-minute continuous coverage. So if we have breaking news about repopulation or any other evacuation areas or any evacuation concerns, you will hear it there probably first.
Lord.
Asking your friends for money is super embarrassing, but you don't have to. Just download Dave. That's probably $75.
Anybody ask nobody to put no merchants? Unless I'm getting paid. You see nothing in my PayPal telling me I'm paid. Look, I got commercials in my motherfucking video, folks. I'm trying to enlighten my followers what's going on. Shit.
And this is an aerial shot.
Nigga, I told them in the beginning so they would know.
Now you know.
Dude, this is crazy, y'all. Crazy. While we watch this aerial shot, any of y'all niggas gonna cop that new Kanye, Jesus is King? I know, because it's supposed to be canceled. What you whispering for? We record on top. Alright, let's move on now, y'all. Let's go.
Hundreds of homes in Los Angeles near the world-famous Getty Center. The so-called Getty Fire broke out overnight. Strong winds are fueling the spread of the fire, and the Los Angeles Fire Department says at least 400 acres have been burned. Thousands of people are under evacuation orders. It is one of more than a dozen wildfires now burning in California. For the latest on these fires, I want to bring in Chris Martinez. He is in Los Angeles near the Getty Fire. Hi, Chris. We can see all that smoke behind you. What is it like where you are right now?
Well, Tanya, we are on the 405 freeway here. The Getty Center is just right up the hill from me, and we've been watching a pretty good flare-up back here where you see the smoke. In fact, a couple of helicopters have been making water drops here just in the past couple of minutes. This is an area that already burned today, but there's a lot of smoldering ground here, and that's the big concern for firefighters, not just here, but also up in these hills, that you might have some of these hot spots that could continue to flare up throughout the day. So we have seen hundreds of firefighters around the area. They are all over the neighborhoods here, trying their best to protect the homes that are around this area and near this fire. A lot of ground here, though, still smoldering, a lot of hot spots that we have seen. And so they're doing their best to put those spots out because they are very fearful that the winds that we have been experiencing here last night and again still today could carry some of the embers from those hot spots up and around into some of the homes of these neighborhoods. We know at least 7 homes have burned so far in this fire. That's the early estimate from the fire crews here that have been in and around the area. We think that number possibly could rise as they get some more assessment crews to see exactly what the damage is. But we do know at this point 10,000 people have been evacuated from this area, Tanya. It's unclear when any of those folks are going to be able to go home.
And Chris, as you mentioned, those high winds that were helping to fuel this fire, when are you hearing that those winds are expected to let up?
So we are under a red flag warning right now here in this area. That is going to expire a little bit later on today. The winds right now are not as bad as they've been. but we still have felt some gusts in this area. In fact, as we go up to the hills there, where we were in the past maybe half hour or so, where most of those homes are, you definitely are still getting those gusts up there. Now, the good news is those winds are supposed to die down as we get to the evening, and we should have maybe a day or so of some much calmer weather. The bad news is that forecasters believe those Santa Ana winds are going to return to the area sometime probably late on Wednesday into Thursday. So this could be a long week ahead for firefighters. We could see the similar weather conditions that helps fuel this fire return to the area by the end of the week.
Wow, so they have a lot of work to do before Wednesday then. So, Chris, you know, there are more than a dozen fires burning in California right now. What more can you tell us about some of the others?
Well, I can tell you one of the largest ones in this area, burning in an area called Santa Clarita. The containment on that one is, I think, around nearly 80% at this hour. That was a fire that destroyed several homes. That's north of Los Angeles. They're getting a handle on that one. The big fire, though, that's the Kincaid fire that's up in Sonoma County. That's destroyed dozens of structures and homes. It's burned more than 60,000 acres. That one continues to burn and continues to grow. They've lost some containment on that one because they've been experiencing these very strong winds up there, too. Those winds in that area also forecasted to come back throughout the week there. That really is the biggest challenge in the state right now, that large fire there. They are expecting that they will have full containment on that fire, the Kincaid fire, by sometime next week, by the end of next week perhaps. But with the weather forecast they're dealing with in Northern California, that could change that. So that's the big struggle right now. We think, based on what we've seen, they're getting a good handle on this Getty fire, but there are still a couple fires in the state that are very challenging for firefighters.
So lots of days ahead of uncertainty for many Californians. Well, Chris Martinez in Los Angeles, we thank you.
There are 3 reasons to start investing. 1, you're broke. 2, you want to grow the little money that you currently have.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's the fire. Literally at the mountain. Let's go. Okay, we're evacuated right now though. Look how close the fire is. It's literally right there. God. Oh, these people's houses. No way.
Currently, we're at the 405 freeway near the Getty Center. The major areas of concern are Mandeville Canyon, Mountain Gate, and then the fire is moving in a westward direction. So what started out as an approximate 50-acre fire has now grown into 250 and growing. There's approximately 3,300 homes that are under mandatory evacuation. And we have approximately 500 firefighters from the ground and air battling those areas.
It's something that I can't confess.
And we're going to give you a live look. Southern California, we're overhead. Overnight, a new fire sparked. It's now threatening the Getty Center Museum. Started about 1:30 in the morning, close to the 405. It's grown to 250 acres. More than 3,000 homes are under evacuation orders. And Rob, as we're taking the firefight down to the ground now, you know, if there's one place that can handle a fire, it's the Getty. They have a 1 million-gallon tank right on top next to their center there, and they also have a filtration system that filters out smoke. So if there's one place where art would be safe, the Getty Center's ready for it.
Right, and they built that because that area has burned many times in the past. In fact, there was a very similar fire, and I believe it was also called the Getty Fire, maybe a couple years ago in that same spot. And that's one of the issues. By the way, you're looking at what clearly looks like a structure that's on fire. So, and the firefighters trying to do their job. Now, in California, the laws are pretty respectful to the media being able to get access as long as they stay out of the way of these firefighters trying to do their job. But they are battling red flag warning conditions there. They are battling structure fires for the Getty Fire and huge evacuation orders going out. And remember, this area, these are winding roads. There's usually one way in, one way out, and they're going door to door in this area, a very expensive, well-known area of Brentwood and Bel Air. And they're going to try and get these people out because the fire's growing so quickly. They are definitely in danger. They're in life-threatening danger right now.
Rob, you had mentioned, and these are dramatic pictures. You don't normally see, and you mentioned Southern California has maybe have a pretty good working arrangement with the media, but we don't normally get access like this.
Right, and what you're going to see there, so there's an individual there to the right that looks like a media photographer, but in full fire gear. The media in California go to these, unfortunately, it's just a fact, they tend to go to situations like this fairly often, especially lately. Well, in the last couple of years, this is a routine thing. Like I just mentioned, I believe this exact area, or at least close to it, was either burned or in threat of burning, called the Getty Fire. I remember the dramatic video as someone was coming up the 405.
The hills were on fire, yeah.
And it looked like the whole hillside was on fire. The same exact image, Walt, we saw early this morning, and I remember telling everybody in the newsroom, we got to get on this because this is going to be a big deal. Now, unfortunately, as they layer on the helicopter shot, you can see some of the roads. This is where people live. This is not a remote area. This is right in the heart of L.A. I can guarantee you this fire is visible from almost anywhere in L.A. because that hillside just sticks up. And you're going to see that orange glow from all over. And it's just really unfortunate, sad situation as it looks like there's clearly battling a structure right there. But I do see chain link fence. I do see it maybe perhaps it was under construction. I don't want to speculate in these situations, but of course we go a little bit extra trying to figure out what's going on. But what we can tell you, this is called the Getty Fire. It broke out at 1:30 this morning, very close to the southbound 405 through the Sepulveda Canyon area. And they are battling structures at the moment, Walt.
Yeah, you know, I've covered a couple of fires in my day, and I was just struck by the access and proximity that, we were just showing people live on the ground, where literally the photographer and possibly the reporter. I mean, look at this. This really shows what firefighters go through in the moment. I mean, I'm just like a fan. I'm just watching this going, it's like amazing to me to see this. You just don't see this live often.
Right, and Walt, it's very likely that some of these very same firefighters have recently responded to other fires in the area.
Yeah.
We have something here in California because these fires usually start in mixed areas of jurisdiction. Maybe it's a city. Maybe it's the city of Los Angeles. So that, the LA City firefighters might respond initially. Then they'll call out for mutual aid, telling the county, we need help. Or maybe it's CAL FIRE that gets involved. And then they figure out, who's going to manage this fire, who's going to manage the resources. So quite often when you go to these fires that get large, you'll see cities and counties and all sorts of different firefighters and who manages them all respond, and they go to these multiple fires. So it's possible that they recently just got back from something, because we know there was a fire recently that broke out near Santa Clarita. There was a fire that broke out recently in the Porter Ranch area. And this has just been ongoing. And Walt, I have to tell you, I think we're going to see more images like this later on this week, because what I'm seeing in the forecast and what I'm trying to get out early, and I know we're here in Northern California, but we've got friends and family in Southern California, and maybe you've even been there and have some sort of interest in the area. What we're looking at in the days ahead is some of the worst fire conditions that they've seen this entire season are still to come, with valley wind gusts upwards of 70 miles an hour that could get all the way to the LA Basin Valley floor. So again, you're looking at images. If you're just watching, this is called the Getty Fire near the 405 in LA. With they're right on the front line there trying to get that structure out, but it's a tough fight. It's very dangerous as well.
It is. A couple of points quickly before we have you move on.
All right, so everybody in California, try to stay safe. Don't leave. Don't wait until the last minute before you evacuate. Go ahead.
Okay, I had a question. These fires have been going on for years and years. Every summer there's a fire. What? And we have not heard one time about what they are doing to try and prevent them. Why can't they wet these forests and these trees down every so often during the summer, and therefore lessening the fire or how far these fires are actually going?
So y'all leave a comment in the bottom in the comment section what y'all think. Like I said, this is a diversion for something bigger, even though it may not look like it at the time. Y'all keep your eyes open, and we stay open out in this bitch, and we wokish. We need to wake the fuck up, but we wokish. Shout out to Marlon. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. You know my slogan. I'm flexing on these hoes like Hulk Hogan, and it's your girl, sometimes your boy, Charlotte Carolina. Salute to the 5 people.